Billionaire activist investor Ryan Cohen is taking over as GameStop CEO, chairman, and president, with the video game retailer's board unanimously appointing him after Cohen had previously held the title of executive chairman. Cohen says that he will not be collecting a salary. Joining us right now is Ben Mesrick. He is the author of The Antisocial Network. That's the book that the new movie, Dumb Money, is based on. That film, by the way, goes nationwide today. And Ben, it's great to have you here. This next part of it's kind of set you up for a sequel.
I mean, it's kind of amazing that Ryan Cohen is suddenly the CEO. The movie's coming out. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't know, but it's like being 2021 all over again. It's kind of a moment where it feels like there's a sequel starting. You're right.
I mean, the film has gotten a lot of buzz. The book, too, just because it kind of details how a band of average people, retail investors, were able to take down Wall Street. And
yeah, it's, you know, regular people in their dorm rooms, or, you know, single mothers, or just people who were living in the worst part of the pandemic, stuck at home, fell in love with a stock. They fell in love with GameStop because of Roaring Kitty, who is, to me, an American hero. He's a guy in his basement who basically felt like there was a value to this company that Wall Street was missing, and he decided to talk about it. And it became this movement. It's almost revolutionary. And when you watch the movie, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of people who are just mad.
Was there any value in the company? You
know, personally, I like the stock. But I don't take investment advice from me. I owned Pets.com. I owned every company that went under.
What's his name? If he didn't sell at the top, is he really smart money?
I mean, I think it's more about people who believe in something because they love it. They felt like it was being taken away, and they felt like there's corruption.
We were just talking about whether it's still going to go the way of Blockbuster. That was our conversation at the beginning of the show. Is it still going to be Blockbuster?
I believe that Ryan Cohen taking over could be huge for this. I think he's a guy who's not taking a salary. He's doing it because he loves it. And I think, listen, I have a 13-year-old son. We walk into GameStop, and he is in love with the place.
I like going in to talk to the geeky guys. You can, if you're stuck on a video game, you can figure out how to get around it.
I know. People love the products.
How do you think, though, about the idea of him being a hero? We were talking with the authors or the
screenwriters.
The screenwriters.
And by the way, I feel like I'm looking at a movie star. You are beautiful in the movie.
Thank you.
You've got a big cameo. I love it.
They've taken lots of clips from us here on CNBC and put it into the movie. But I think what we're all trying to understand is long term. And there's a piece of it, and you see it. I don't want to give away the end of the movie. Obviously, people know what happens at the end of the movie. Some people make money, and some people don't make money. And so there is this question about whether people were following almost a fever dream of an idea that ultimately was to their own peril.
So I interviewed dozens of people for this movie, and not a single one cared about the money. That's the amazing thing about this story. All the people who bought this stock and buy AMC and buy, Bed Bath & whatever, it's not about making money. It's a movement against what they feel is an unfair playing field.
But I think this too. These guys stuck it to the man.
I mean, that's what it's about.
And good for them for doing it, but they may have stuck it to all their followers too. Are they lemmings?
I don't believe
all the bag holders. They left them with all the bag holders. What do you mean it's not about the money? What is it? Everything's about the money.
Have you talked to the people who bought GameStop?
Yeah, they write in all the time, and I say, "How's your account?" And then they don't answer.
But that's not what it's about. See,
but it is about that.
Then
why? Okay, you can lose. Then why? You might as well just bet against. You might as well just go to the NFL.
Let me put it this way.
Wall Street just go to DraftKings.
Open its eyes because you're trying to treat the market as rational when the market is emotional. And I think Wall Street is not looking and seeing what's happening.
And where the meme stocks are now is rational. They're back to where they started.
Right now, but 9 million people were gathered together for a moment buying a stock because they were fighting a battle. You don't think that's going to happen again? You think it's over? I think that's crazy.
No, I think it may very well happen again, but the truth is Gabe Plotkin just bought a basketball team.
Hey,
it's hard to look at this.
Everyone else is saying, well, it didn't matter about the money. I'm broke. But it didn't matter about the money.
Listen, there are people who are going to make money in the market. I think Wall Street is going to figure out a way to adjust and try to. But I think if you ignore the fact that millions and millions and millions of people were pissed off enough to buy GameStop to stick it to one hedge fund, I think you're blinding yourself.
Oh no, I think there's a lesson in this, which is the rapidity and the strength of a group of people, and just how quickly things can move. But I think it's, by the way, that was true of even SVB when Silicon Valley Bank went under. In a way, I know it's a different situation, but just the idea that a group of people could move their money this quickly. Nobody ever thought that these things could happen with such speed.
Is this the end to short selling. And not that short sellers are always a bad thing. Look, there are times where a short seller comes along and identifies Enron, which was a complete fraud.
Right.
And that's something we have to be grateful to them for. But this is a way to make sure that short sellers aren't able to just push their advantage and like hose.
I'm not a fan. I have to be honest with you, and I know I get yelled at by people in finance, but I find something morally repugnant about short selling personally, because I feel like if your next door neighbor was about to lose their house and you made a bet and made money on that, we'd all agree that was morally wrong.
I would agree with that aspect of short selling, but when it identifies fraud.
I mean, that's great. A good answer came out of a bad action. You know, that's like the ends justify the means. You're still doing wrong by betting against a company. If you don't like that company, publicize it. If you think there's something wrong with it, journalists do that. Lawmakers do that. You don't have to make money on someone else's failure. I mean, you don't. Hey, listen, in Wall Street, everyone's always looking for another way to make money. They're making enough money.
No, but the money aspect of it is often the only thing that identifies. It's the only thing that identifies the fraud.
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs if the only way people will do the right thing is for money.
I suppose, but
short sellers can be definitely heroes and on the right side of things, just like the cases that Becky talked about. If you uncover something that's underlying fraud, I mean that's not the only one. They keep the market honest. I mean, if you come on and you hype a stock because you're long, it's no different than coming on and.
I think building something is different than breaking something down.
Yeah, but
no matter what
promoters exist separately.
Something built on air and balsa wood should be exposed. Something built.
So expose it, but I think that
you don't wish short sellers were in
FTX.
You don't wish short sellers were in FTX to expose.
Ben Mesrich, we got to say thank you. The film is called Dumb Money.